Welcome to Cedarwood Realty Group, where we make your dreams a reality. I want to go over today the process of buying your first home. I've had a lot of people say, Charlie, why don't you put a video together on what is the process? The first thing that you should do is make sure you sit with your local loan officer to make sure that all your credit credentials and everything is in line, so that way they can do what is called a pre-approval letter. I will not work with anybody without a pre-approval letter, and nor would any other realtor work without a pre-approval letter, because that's what's going to tell you exactly how much you can afford and how much you can pay for. So once you have that pre-approval letter, the next thing that'll happen is we're going to sit with you and we're going to have an interview and ask you what are your all the stuff that you want in a home, which some people say, I want a 3-bedroom, I want a finished basement, I want a garage, and I want a nice decent backyard for my children to play in. And the other thing is also that we look at is, do you want to stay in the same school district that you're actually living today? So that's one of the things that we usually do. Make sure that we meet all your little things that you need in order to buy your home. Once we have that, the next thing that'll happen is we'll go on search for your home. And once we find the home that you want, we will put what is called a contract to purchase, which will be where you're going to put an offer in, and you're going to accompany it with a check. And once that's accepted, what'll happen is we will then go for a home inspection. In this home inspection, a couple of things could happen, whether there's going to be some repairs that probably are going to be needed to be done, and possibly you might want to keep the lawnmower, you might want to keep the snow blower, anything that you want that you see at the house. There's no reason why you cannot put it in that contract. So you want to make sure that the person is working with you, that makes sure that you have that ability to do that, and you can negotiate anything you want as long as you put it in your contract. Once the contract is done, then what happens is, and your home inspection is done, the next step would be to go to the P&S, which is the contract that says that the seller is going to sell the house, and you're going to move forward and you're going to buy this property. At that time, you're going to give a second deposit check. With that second deposit check, then it's held by the attorneys, and it's going to be used towards the end of your contract, to whatever down payment you're giving is going to be added to that total. Once that process is done, the next thing that'll happen is you're going to get an appraisal done by the bank. So the bank is going to require you to give them another check, so that way you can pay for that appraisal. When the appraisal comes back, two things could either happen. The house is appraised at the value that you're buying it, or it could come in lower, or it can come in higher. If it comes in higher, it's fine, but if it comes lower, guess what? You have room for negotiations, because now the bank is going to say, you know what, the house is not worth what you're buying it for, so you have some room to go back to the table and negotiate that price, because you want to make sure that you are paying for something that is worth what you're paying for. So once that is done, the next step that'll happen is the bank will be doing all the investigations on your work history, on your credit, on everything that they need to do in the background once that's being done. Once you get approved by the bank and you get the clear to close, the bank is going to require you to go to your insurance company and get your policy for that house. Once you have that and all that is in place and it gets submitted into underwriting, it comes back with a clear to close. Once you have your clear to close, what'll happen is you'll get a date set for closing date. And what you want to make sure is that you do your final walkthrough. Final walkthrough is usually done the morning of or the day before your closing. You don't want to wait and do a walkthrough a couple of days prior to the closing, because then when you do close your property, what's going to happen is you come home and open the door, find out your refrigerator, your stove, or your plumbing is missing, and then you have a problem. So you want to make sure you do it either the night before or the morning of that closing, so you do find any surprises. So you want to make sure that everything is working, there's no leaks, everything is functional. You go to the closing with your attorney that day, and congratulations, you become a homeowner. So I want to thank you again, and God bless everybody here, and welcome again. I want to thank everybody for watching this video with Cedarwood Realty Group.